All right, Shalom. Before I begin, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Wadash. I would like to say double honors to my teachers, the men whom I've learned this truth from, the apostles, the bishops and elders of Great Millstone. And I'd also like to say Shalom and salutations to the brothers out there of the hopeful elect that are preaching this word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Shaquat from the branch of Great Millstone, Montreal, back with another in-transit lesson. And this lesson that I'll be getting into today, basically just going to be going into, the Heavenly Father's people, because something that was falsely taught, or a cunningly devised fable that pretty much took hold on everybody in the world is the fact that when you're dealing with the Bible, the Heavenly Father, the God of the Bible, accepts each and everyone, no matter who you are, no matter what status, and so on and so forth. And that's not true. That's not true. That's why it's a cunningly devised fable, something that was made up. That's false. Because when you do deal with the scriptures, the Lord, the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, right? That's his real name in the ancient Hebrew. His name is Yahweh. He has a chosen people that he delights in, right? Basically going back to the book of Genesis, right? The Heavenly Father has always been dealing with particular men more than others. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. That's the lineage of men that the Heavenly Father chose to deal with, and chose to basically have near himself, man. Right? And not everybody, not every nation has that luxury to be called, or to be called the sons of the Most High, or called, or be near unto the Heavenly Father, man. When you read 2 Ezra 16 and verse, I think it's 69. No, 2 Ezra 6, right? It goes into how Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. So all nations of people come from Adam, right? And that's because the flood, right? Because after the flood, what happened? The Lord basically flooded the whole earth and left a remnant at that time. And the remnant of that time was Noah and his three sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? And those three sons were pretty much, or they were progenitors of nations. That's how the Lord repopulated the earth, through Noah and his three sons, right? That's what it means by of him come we all. So each and every nation comes from Adam through Noah and the flood, man. And his three sons, right? But guess what? There's a particular nation and a lineage that the Lord kept dealing with. And in this case will be Shem, the Shemites, but not each and every Shemite, right? Because you have Edomites that are Shemites, right? Various other nations. You have Israelites that are Shemites too, but the Lord was only dealing with Israelites, and the Lord is not dealing with every nation, right? And there's evidence to prove that the Lord is not dealing with everybody, because when you consider the Heavenly Father, he's great, right? The Lord has a a set apart spirit. And that would make sense that his sons would have similar or traits of him in them, right? And that's why the Lord made his people a special people, a peculiar people, that would only make sense, right? Because when you take a look at the Israelites today, and the Israelites today are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they have a peculiar spirit to them, man. And you can tell that, there's something different about these people because they excel in particular things they do. And that's not by coincidence. That's because they are the Lord's people. They're pretty much an extension of the Lord, right? Like the elder apostle Sahar, something that he says often is many most highs. That's what the Israelites are going to be like in the kingdom. Many most highs, man. Many gods. And that's right. And even on the earth, there's a small sense of that, because when you take a look at each and everything pretty much on the earth that brings people joy, whether that may be in entertainment, music, even just creativity, these things mostly Israelites dominate, man. Mostly Israelites dominate. Why is that? It's because of the spirit that the Lord put in them. They have that special thing to them, and that's the spirit, man. And that's why we dress the particular way and influence the entire world to dress a particular way or talk a particular way, use particular phrases and slangs and slurs. The way we talk, it influences the whole world, the other nations, to want to basically take hold on. But that's for a reason. That's because we are the nation that the Lord put on top of everybody. We are the nation that the Lord made, where every other nation looks up to, and copies and mimics, man. And that's not by our means, but it's by the Heavenly Father's means, man. The Lord did that. Matter of fact, let me grab a real quick precept, and then I'll close it off. This is Exodus 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. Right? So the Lord chose us to be a special people unto himself, man. It says, to himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Right? So the Lord made the Israelites above and superior and better than each and every nation, each and every other nation on the earth, man. So Lord willing, this lesson edifying. Call Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rucha Kodash. Once again, double honors to my teachers, the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom and salutations to the elect. Until next time, shalom.